Hi, I'm Julie Neckley, and this is a quick video on transits to the 3rd and 6th house. And these are very different houses, but at the same time, they have something in common because they're both ruled by Mercury. And I feel Mercury taps into aspects of life that aren't frequently discussed. So basically, the 3rd house is a house of neighborhoods and communication. And it's a really bubbly house, sort of, where you go on little adventures and you're constantly learning new skills and making short journeys. And then the 6th house is the house of health and service and pets. And so that's a house where you can be dealing with health stuff and you're like working really hard, but you're not getting a lot of credit because you're basically like a slave or a servant in this house. But when you have transits through either of these houses, it's actually a really significant time that you can overlook because you're going to be really busy and you're going to be doing lots of work that is basically unglamorous, and it might seem relatively pointless because it will have a mundane quality to it. But the thing about these times is both of these times are times when you're learning lateral skills, if that makes sense. It's like they're jack of all trades times because no matter what your purpose is in life, like let's say your purpose is to be a cook or something, in order to be successful as a cook, you're going to also have to be good at lots of other things. You know, like you're going to have some amount of people skills. You're going to have to know how to dress. You're going to have to know how to use transportation to get to where you're cooking. You're going to have to speak English. You're probably going to have to read and write. You're going to have to be able to stand on your legs. It's like whatever it is you're trying to do is going to require a ton of skills you don't even think about in order to be good at it. And how strong you are in that diverse skill set really determines how far you can go in any endeavor. And so when you're having transits to your 3rd house and your 6th house, it's time when you're building up those invisible skills that you don't really think about, but that are the micro skills that enable you to do the macro things. You know, you're learning how to get around and how to navigate environments better, how to communicate with more people, how to communicate in different ways. You might be learning new forms of technology. You're probably doing odd jobs that aren't really related to your primary interest in life. But through really applying yourself to those odd jobs, you're gaining new skills that are going to make it possible for you to do whatever you're going to do next. Because both of these houses lead into houses where your purpose begins to get activated. So it's like a time of preparation when you're gaining lots of random skills that don't seem significant at the time, but you really want to apply yourself to this work that will come into your life, no matter how dumb it seems, because it's excelling at it and building up those skills that will enable you to excel at doing what you want in life and fulfilling your purpose. And it's not just like mental skills like crossword puzzles and stuff, although it can be that, but it's also can be like emotional skills. Like, for example, in the 6th house of service, you know, you might have to drive your grandmother to the hospital and like sit for 6 hours staring into space because you don't have your phone with you, so you just have to sit there and wait for her to get some test results back or something. And so it's really boring. And you're like, I'm not learning shit, but you are. It's like you're learning to be a patient person who can endure and who can be there for others, you know? It's like, so it's not just about learning mental skills that are obvious. It's also about testing your patience, testing your endurance. Really, it's like, the Mercury represents the absolute full set of skills that a person can have. Physical skills, mental skills, emotional skills, spiritual skills. There's nothing that's irrelevant to Mercury, you know? And how strong you become in a Mercury sense determines your overall potential, your ability to do whatever it is you're going to do. Because like I said before, whatever it is you want to do does not just require the obvious skills. It requires a full set of skills that you never think about to be able to succeed in it. And so the 3rd and the 6th house, when you have transits to this house, it's time when you are buffing up and building up that core set of invisible skills that are necessary to do whatever you need to do. So whatever annoying stuff comes into your life at this time, you need to really cherish it and just really give it your best, because you're in school, you know? And the papers you write in school aren't relevant. They're going to be thrown out. But the skills and character that you gain is going to become extremely relevant. And I actually have more things I want to say about these houses, because there is like magical aspects to them too, but trying to keep this video simple. But one thing I will say is this: wherever planets go in your chart, whatever house the planet's going to, the planets are basically like these portals bringing in supernatural energy. And so they are going to be opening up portals in whatever house they go into. So when the planets are in houses that rule mundane activities, like going to the dentist, for example, that means that there's going to be magical energy for you coming into your life through those mundane activities. And so you want to go into these mundane activities with your eyes open. You know what I mean? Because you're going to meet people. You're going to learn things that are going to be extremely relevant and have the ability to completely transform your life. And when you're dealing with transits to the third and sixth house, these magical things are going to come in through the most ordinary of events. So you want to keep your eyes wide open. I have other things I'd like to say that get more into magic, but I'll leave that for another time. So anyway, the point is, embrace the third and the sixth house, because they're preparing you for a future of glory. Thanks. I'm Julie Neclia.